Welcome, everybody. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, and
this is Dee.
And we are back from New York City, where we were on the Today Show this morning. We want to welcome all of those who are new to us, our first time. Many of you might be first timers because you heard us or saw us on the Today Show. And so we're grateful that you joined us here tonight. Let's get into it. Let's talk about what we do. Well, we do a half-hour show on Monday nights to try and impress and impact and empower
positively impact relationships.
So,
our primary focus is married couples. However, everybody can benefit from the information that we provide because we're talking about relationships.
Yes. We're the authors of the book, Make Love,
Make Money,
Make It Last, 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. We've been married, as you heard on the show this morning, 37 years. Haven't had an argument in 35 years.
And that was the takeoff for the show. Why don't you tell us how we got on the Today Show? A lot of people have been asking that. How did we end up on the Today Show to begin with?
Well, a couple things.
Who did you know?
No one.
Okay.
Oh, well, I knew Craig Melvin, but that he's not a producer. I knew none of the producers, but I sent them. I kept sending clips from our marriage show here on the weekend, and it finally took. Somebody saw.
So you were persistent.
I was persistent.
So what is the lesson for everybody about anything?
A couple things. One is that you must be persistent, and then you must keep putting out your message to the world. You don't know when it's going to pop, when it's going to take root, when it's going to get some traction. We've been doing this Monday night marriage show now for about 3 years.
Going into 3 years.
3 years, and we've been on every Monday night. So we've done over 150 shows. Mm-hmm. And then we started just getting it on to YouTube and other places. Something we couldn't talk about this morning, we didn't have time, was that it was just a process of getting good information out to people and consistently saying, we want to help married couples and people in their relationships, because so many struggle, and we get so many people who send letters. By the way, you can send letters if you want our take on it, and what we'll do is anonymously, we'll talk about your name, and we'll read your letter and give you an advice. So you can do that at info@williejolly.com. So I kept sending information from our shows, information for other interviews, and one day the producers said,
all right. So the lessons then is you were persistent.
I was persistent, just like I was
persistent and consistent in terms of tracking me down to get my attention.
You jumped over. Now, we were talking about today's show, and now I'm gonna talk about you. The reason why we even here, because I was persistent when she said no. Someone asked me the question, how many times did she say no when you were dating? I said about 100. I mean, it took years for me of keep asking for her to finally say yes.
All right, so let's get back to
you don't want to talk about that, though.
Wait, so the lessons are universal. So you were consistent and persistent.
Yeah.
You were clear with your message, our messaging about the importance of developing positive relationships, especially when you are married to somebody. It's cheaper to keep them. Yeah. You didn't say that, but it's cheaper to keep them.
It is cheaper to keep them, right?
So having a clear message, and then you use social media, because we get a lot of questions about just how did you do it.
Well, we use media. We use our media, the best media we had. Now, one thing we can tell people is this, that the world has changed over the last couple of years. Because beforehand, if you didn't have a publicist or you didn't have a big PR firm, you could not get, even when close to any of those.
You couldn't get the attention of people in media.
That's right. But because of social media, we were able to do it. So I want to welcome again, everybody. We are grateful. And I do want to answer a couple of the questions that people might have had who are first timers, is that we did talk about the 3 big boulders that break up marriage just briefly today: sex, money, and communication.
And the common thread is communication.
The common thread is communication.
And that's what we kind of ended, because they said we had 6. We ended up with 3 minutes and what?
57 seconds. We have supposed to have 6 minutes section. But that's a whole nother thing. You know, things change. I did not know that we didn't have 6 minutes, but we wanted to get into the talk about sex and money. And we didn't get a chance to do that. But we did talk about communication. So, Lynthia, good. So we're glad you sent the picture of your grandson and you watching us on television this morning. So we are grateful that we're able to. Now let's talk about some of the things that want to help people in their marriages, their relationship. And by the way, we do have a chapter in the book for people who are not yet married, who are single. One of the things we often tell people is how important it is for you to have the 4 F's of communication. And if you are new, you want to write these down. Old folks know these 4 F's. Be friendly. When you have to have critical conversations, difficult conversations, uncomfortable conversations, you must start by being friendly. If you're belligerent,
at least pleasant. How about that?
Well, that's what I meant by friendly.
I know.
You might be teed off.
You're teed off. You're angry, and you're saying you're going to tell me that I've got to be friendly. I don't want to be friendly, but maybe not friendly. But you can at least be pleasant.
Well, friendly
and have a pleasant expression.
Well, use the word friendly because it has an F and it makes sense.
I know,
and they know the concept. You can't be mad. You can't be belligerent, and you can't be coming in there, with
a bad attitude. You might be upset, yes.
Right.
But you got to calm yourself down, right?
That's correct. So be friendly. Then be frank. Frank about your feelings. Frank about your feelings, not what they did to you. We don't want you to say you did this and you did that. And we don't want you to be accusatory. Because again, people put up defense mechanisms. They give defense mechanisms when you're not friendly. They put up defense mechanisms when you're accusatory. So be frank about how it made you feel.
That situation made me feel.
That's right.
So never accusatory.
Right.
Even though you might be thinking that.
You might think it, but that's not going to work.
That is not going to come out of your mouth because that doesn't do any good.
Senior Terrence, did you see us on the TV this morning? Did you see me on the TV this morning? Senior Terrence is Terrence Senior is one of our weekly biggest supporters.
Loyal.
Biggest supporters. So he said, what did he miss? We're just going to recap of today's show on the Today Show. How we got on the show by just being persistent. And then for new people, but we have a number of new people today who are joining as a result of the Today Show, that we want to make sure they understand some of our basic fundamental principles.
Something about bedrock.
Bedrock, the 4 F's. Be friendly. Be frank about your feelings, not what they did, but how it made you feel. Be fair. What's that mean, Dee? Be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Be fair means what?
How can you both
listen?
Well,
be fair. You
both have to listen, but what does that mean? You're listening to understand. You're not listening just so when they stop, you can say what's wrong. Okay.
You want to. So, that's right.
So you're listening to learn. I like that. You're listening to learn, and so that you can ask questions for clarity.
Right. So be friendly, be frank, be fair.
Because you're looking for what really is going on. What is behind this mess that happened, right? So we can get on the same page. That's the goal. So we both can win. And you can't do that if you don't understand what caused, at least from your partner's perspective, what is going on. So it really goes back to when you say be friendly, be at least pleasant, you got to calm down so that you can focus on analyzing the situation. That's really what the 4 F's deal with. Okay.
Be friendly, be frank, be fair. You want to listen, and be focused on a win-win. Focus on a win-win. And what is the thing?
So you're analyzing the situation to figure out how both of you can come away feeling satisfied with the result. because you don't want to slay. I like the word. You don't want to slay your partner, right? You don't want to slay your partner. You want both of you to win.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because you can't go to bed with you one and the other partner, then you have to sleep with one eye open. That's not good.
So be focused on a win-win, which means that we both want to win and we both should win. It shouldn't be a win-lose. It's win-win.
So that's how you build a close, loving relationship. And if your whole goal is I want to one-upmanship my partner, then there are some fundamental problems that just communication is not going to solve.
So first, the major problem is communication. If you communicate better, have a better love life, communicate better, have better money management. But also, communication is critical for you to have systems of communication. Now, Chanel Jones asked a question this morning that I thought was profound. What happens if you have different styles of how you communicate?
Right. She said, because we were running out of time. She said, my husband wants to not talk right now. He wants to go in and think about it. And I want to talk. Well, maybe she wants to talk because she's an anchor. She's used to talking all the time. But we didn't really get into that.
Right. Because that's sometimes it's called fight or flight.
Right.
And so in the fight or flight concept is that one person wants to fight and one person wants to get away and regroup. And what we've said to people is we understand that, but you should give people some space if they ask for it.
So that's part of understanding how your partner is wired. So she knows that her husband needs time. If there is a disagreement, he needs time to walk away and to think about it.
Right.
So why would you chase him down and demand the conversation right there?
Because that's her style. Her style is, I want to fight and get it done.
But that doesn't
all right,
work.
and his style is, I want a little space. But see, some people want a little space and they never come back to the table.
So you got to come back.
What happens if they don't?
Well, they're going to come back to the table because if you're the person who's sliding, who's running away, and I need to have the conversation, I would give you space, but we would revisit it because I would come back to it.
Okay, so
that's how we have systems in terms of how we have worked it out.
Right.
Am I not right?
No, we work it out, but we don't let the sun go down on our wrath.
Yes.
All right, we're going to take care of it before the night is over because the Bible says it. Do not let the sun go down on your wrath, okay?
But understanding your particular style of how you handle disagreements is very important to understand your own style.
Right.
Then you need to understand how your partner handles it.
Right.
Now, understanding both, and if it's not the same, then you have to work out a system for you guys disagreeing and then coming together and finding common ground.
Right. Our friend Sharon Fanto says sometimes we want to be the fighter, and sometimes the fighter, sometimes we are not consistent. Amen to that. Do not let the sun go down on your wrath. Because you know what? You deal with it that night, and then you don't take today's problems into tomorrow.
So maybe you have to stay up all night long if the person
whatever
needs
it takes.
Some time to be away from
I'll
the
wait
issue.
for you.
But
tomorrow, if that problem goes to tomorrow, and then it goes the next day, and it never settled, it's never finalized.
Well,
and
festers.
It festers, and you get what that news say? You have some kind of feeling. What is that? What is it?
You're feeling some kind of way.
Oh, you're feeling some kind of way. Oh, I'm in my feelings. These are new terms that I got to get used to.
The old stuff of it's festering, and I'm not talking.
Yeah, I'm in my feelings, and I'm feeling some kind of way, and all of these kind of things. Anyway, so those are some of the things we want to deal with. That you don't let the sun go down on your wrath. We encourage people to fix it. One of the things with all the people we interviewed, and we interviewed a lot of people who were 40, 50, and 60 years of marriage, they always said, fix it before you go to bed. Don't go to bed angry.
So you can't do footsies if you're not fixing.
If you're fixing, you can't do footsies.
So just stay up until you get it resolved.
Until you get it right. That's right. That's right.
A long night.
A long night. So that's very important. And now welcome again. And then One of the other things that we want to say, let's see, Terrence says, take some silence for weak. Don't sometimes some take silence for weakness. I stop talking so I can listen. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Okay, I get that. But you do need to.
Some of us, yes.
But you do need to make sure you do get back to address it, because some people will use that as an excuse to.
But I think, again, as we talk about the importance of communicating, that talking and that listening that you say, and if you've been with somebody for a while, you should never assume. But if they're saying, I need some time to mull this over because I'm not ready to talk because I'm too angry. Can't another person understand that?
Obviously not.
And then the other person was saying, oh, okay. Well, why don't we come back together in an hour or so?
Okay. If you schedule a time.
Again, that's the communication. That's the working it out of the back and forth.
So look, let me get to the questions that weren't asked today, because we just didn't have time. They asked about, was it really 35 years that you have an ottoman? Yes. And that was due to William, our son, who
our son encouraged us to write the book because he had friends who didn't believe that there were parents that actually didn't fight all the time.
Right.
That's really where it came from.
And so he encouraged us to write the book.
And we talked about it. He had friends over. We talked about our principles. Then they said, can you write it down? And so then the writing down first, second, it became a book.
Yep.
And it took about a course of a year, but we
2
had
years.
the ideas down.
We have our part in 1 year. Second year was for the people we interviewed. So it took 2 years to do the book.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, you got to do, after the book became very popular, and people were buying the book like crazy. And we went out, quickly went through the first printing, went to the second printing. Then the second thing, he said, we need to do a show. You need to do something on television. Well, this was the new media, Facebook Live, Instagram Live.
So I think you're also saying it's good to listen to your smart children.
Yeah, who knows social media?
They push us to learn more and to try
new things,
new ways of marketing.
That's right.
We would not have done it if it had not been for our children.
Right. So next question that wasn't asked is, they were going to ask, and they didn't get to it, about this was a good question and we've never been asked before. What do you do different than others do in terms of your marriage that makes it successful?
Now, see, when you say they didn't ask, you need to say, like, behind the scenes, when in prep for all of this, we had the call where they go over, here's the scheduling, here are the kind of questions the anchors are going to ask. They're going to ask in this order. Then when we got there and everything, that didn't happen.
Right. Right. It was different once we got there. It wasn't what we quite were expecting, but that's a learning experience. We got to, again, learn more. You do more, you learn more. But one of the questions that they were going to ask, a good one was, what do you do different? What do you do so different than others that makes your marriage so successful? What do we do different? One of the things we do different, I thought about it. Do you have an answer? I got an answer. What do we do different?
That we talk about everything.
Well,
and that we're together all the time.
Okay, but that would make sense.
That we like each other.
Okay.
So what is I don't think there is one thing.
No, it's not one thing, but I thought of one.
I thought one thing is that we really like each other. We like being in each other's presence, even though you are a handful.
Well, that's why you're here. Because you kept saying, no, I'm not going to marry you. No. And so I just didn't give up. Now, here's what I said.
What did you think of?
We hold hands. See, it's hard to be mad at somebody when you're holding hands with them. It's hard.
How do you hold hands? How do you think about that? So, all right.
We hold hands. We hold hands. We walked quite a bit while we were in New York.
Well, with luggage.
Well, but we didn't. We went with the hold hand while we were in luggage. But we went to dinner.
Yeah.
And we held hands.
We
hold hands from the hotel to the dinner. Well, in New York City. And so we, a little different. But we hold hands. It's hard to be angry with somebody or be an aunt with somebody when you're holding hands. Yes, you're right, Terrence. She has one glass has a hexagon and one glass has a circle, and it's weird. And this is D. You know, no, you're not
seeing things tonight, Terrence.
No, you're not. That's D. You know, every week, for those who are new, you come to see her hairstyle and her glasses. They're different every week.
Not every week.
Just about. Okay. And yes, Clarence, you're not loony for seeing the hexagon and the circle. That's just D. The square and the circle. Lord have mercy.
Keeps it interesting.
It keeps it interesting. So anyway, that was a question that I thought was a great question that we didn't get to.
That's a good thing. I didn't even think about that. We do hold hands.
We hold hands.
And I think part of holding hands when we're walking like in New York or something, you're trying to keep track of me.
No,
and sometimes I'm like slower than you.
Yeah, but holding hands.
We keep track of each other.
Holding hands. When you hold hands, you're not holding hands, you're
holding hearts.
You're holding hearts. Mm-hmm. And when you hold someone's heart in your hand and you love that person, you can't be mad at them. And even if you
love me tender. I thought about that.
Ooh.
That's the Elvis movie we gotta see.
Yeah, we gotta see that. Maybe we'll find out.
You're more tender when you hold somebody's hand.
Yeah.
Think you're holding their heart.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So it is 9:26. We did not get to thank you, Terrence. Said the statistics was amazing. Thank you. That most marriages break up at the 7-year mark.
Is that like the 7-year itch?
Maybe so. And that 50% of marriages break up, and of the 50 that remain, 40% of those people are miserable. You know, we don't know. I thought you said that very well. We don't know whether it's economic or whether it's wait for the kids.
And the kids already know. You know, you'd be surprised at what the kids know. They know you're staying together just for them because you can't wait for them to finish high school so y'all can go out.
So for those who did not see the Today Show interview, we just got the clip.
But you can post it.
Yeah, we're going to post it on our social media. It will be on our Jolley Marriage page. And also, you can actually go to the Today Show and just put us in Jolley's, and I'm sure that will pop up. I don't know. I assume that's the key will be our name. But it is shorter than we anticipated. But you know what? We thank God for all things.
It's the opportunity.
The opportunity to hopefully, as I said at the beginning, we thank God for the opportunity to hopefully help some couples to not just survive, but to thrive. And so we give God glory for that. And we're grateful. And Terrence has the clip already in his group on Facebook. Thank you, Terrence. And others have said they've gotten it. So I want to thank all of you for sharing this show with your friends. I really think that this show was the reason why we wanted today's show, because of all of you putting your messages out, putting the messages out to your friends. And somebody, you know, we only 6 degrees of separation. Somebody knew somebody who knew somebody who was at the Today Show who said, who is this that we keep hearing about? So keep doing that, please. Put it out. Tell people if you want good information on marriage, who are telling you the deal, the real deal. Please share that. And then about marriage and relationships. And then if you want to, Terrence said, you plugged everything I was I was going for, and I was saying, plug the other book, and I did it. I took that setback as a setup for a comeback. Somehow I'm going to get that in there, and I'm going to get in there. I'm on radio. Because if y'all don't tell them how they going to know. Come on, somebody. Anyway, so feel free to send us, if you have questions, emails,
questions, comments.
Yeah, info@williejolly.com. Now, if you have a marriage situation where you say, I need to improve my marriage, I just need to anybody got an improvement? I just need to improve my marriage. Then go to jolleymarriage.com/events, EVENTS, and order the Relationship Repair series. It's a 5-part series that involves communication, finances, videos, sex and romance, family matter, and then blended families. And then we got a special added session on the 11 biggest mistakes people make in their relationship and how to fix them. So go get that. It's a great series. We did it through the month of June. You might not have been here then, but you can get access to it now. You can do it on demand. You and your mate, your significant other can sit down and watch it and see. Does the marriage start in your head? Yes, it does. But then it goes to your heart. Come on, somebody. All right. So thank y'all. Thank you. Our time is up. Thank y'all for supporting us today on the Today Show. And what we would like to ask you to do, call the Today Show. Send them notes. Say, we got to have the Jollies on again. We want them on again. Bomb them, probably just bombard them with, we want the Jollies on again. We want the Jollies on again. Would you do that for us? We hope you will. Hey, this is Dr. Jolley.
This is Dee.
And we want to thank you again. Go to jolleymarriage.com. If you don't have the book, get 2 copies. Get 2 copies or get the audio book so that y'all can listen together.
You can also get the free chapter and really see how we write.
Yeah, that's right.
And how we express ourselves.
Yes.
Something went wrong. Please try again.
My phone is talking to me.
You're so cute. I love her. You know that? I love her. I'm a keeper. I tell you, I'm a keeper.
Cheaper to keep me.
It's cheaper to keep you. So thank y'all. Love y'all. God bless y'all. We'll see you next Monday night. And remember, your best is yet to come. This is Dr. Willie Jolley.
This is Dee.
God bless you. Jolly out. Let's go out with our music from my jazz album. You can get this at williejolly.com/jazz, I think. But it is on my music. So here we go with a Close to You from my jazz album.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.